I wouldn't have even cared or wrote him. Like, this is unnecessary.
Yeah, I wouldn't have cared at all, but now that he's being difficult, I all of a sudden care a lot and wouldn't mind throwing this guy in jail. I think that's the problem right there.
Hello, HalfPint here, and I just wanted to say real quick, if you've been enjoying my content, please remember to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube and follow me on Twitch so you can always catch us when we're live and see more content. Also, if you are new here, welcome in, and if you're enjoying the video, please remember to like it because it helps me out a lot. I also post funny clips and other things on TikTok. All the links are in the description below, and thanks again. Now let's get into the video.
Code Blue Cam believes they have located the most painful traffic stop ever. And with a cringe bait title like that, I gotta check it out. What makes it so painful? And this happened. Oh wow! Oh wow! This was first of the year. This was how they rang in the new year. Came out 3 days ago, but this happened on the 1st of January. Okay, so I can assume this is like, looks like it's nighttime, so this is a New Year's event.
January 1st, 2023, a Portage County Sheriff's deputy was on patrol when he ran the plates of a vehicle in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. It came back showing the registered owner had a suspended license, so the deputy decided to conduct a traffic stop. Upon approach, the female driver, 33-year-old.
I guess that is enough to pull someone over, because all I was thinking was like, well, couldn't someone else be driving the car? But maybe they're supposed to check because of who it's registered to is suspended?
Nicole Golomsky immediately began yelling and cursing.
Damn, there's snow on the ground and shit.
Waiting for me to leave my gas pump. Look around, dude.
Well,
Okay, don't search my car.
Better to do on New Year's Eve.
Okay, chill. Wow, you are not doing yourself any favors. And it sucks that that's even a thing, but like this.
You guys, trip following, waiting for me to leave my.
That's kind of an illegal search right there. He's looking in the car, and I guess like they're technically supposed to, because you know there have been times they've pulled over literal people with bodies in the back and they haven't noticed stuff. So ideally they would look, but technically shining a light into someone's car like that is considered searching the vehicle, and technically that is an illegal search.
Gas pump. Look around, dude.
Well, the reason
You really
why
don't
I'm
have
pulling
anything
over.
better to do on New Year's Eve.
Also, are you allowed to smoke? I always assumed that like if you were smoking a cigarette and a cop walked up to you, they'd be like, put that shit out, because like you could technically use it to burn them. You know? I don't know.
Eve, New Year's night, New Year's Day, when there's all these motherfuckers. Get that out my eyes.
It's not in your eyes.
I didn't do
If
anything
you look where
illegal.
I'm pointing right
do you
here.
know I know your is gonna pull me over?
Okay.
I saw you're sitting at
You know why?
Hardee's. Hardee's.
Yes.
Because
You know
you're
why?
lazy and you don't want to pull over somebody with actually where you have to do
Who
paperwork.
has a suspended driver's license?
Oh, I got a suspended driver's license, but you can pull somebody over drinking and driving, right?
Okay, can I have your ID?
No, I don't have it.
She didn't see. Oh, okay. Okay, that is the biggest whataboutism I've ever heard in my life. I have a suspended license. You could be pulling over someone who's drunk driving. I bet if he would have saw a car swerving around, he probably would have pulled over that car. But he didn't. And he did see your suspended license driving, which is illegal. So like, that's the worst argument I've ever heard. Like, I don't know why her license was suspended or if it's something stupid or not. So far it seems like, I don't know, you don't seem super level-headed, but I mean, you broke the law. He's the guy who's supposed to, one of the guys that's supposed to enforce the law. You walked by him. That's how it works. That's literally how it works.
You know who the I am?
Okay.
Because you just said I have a suspended license. Do what you gotta do with
Well,
your
I have to verify
dog.
that's who you are. I'm not
Don't find
dogging
anything. I don't give a f. And your buddy back there can bring his dog. You guys do this to me anytime.
I've never met you
suck.
before,
Oh,
so I don't know what you're
okay.
talking about.
Why did you creep at Quick Trip until I left? Answer that.
Because I saw you had a suspended driver's license.
How did you see that if you're on the other side of the parking
checked
lot
the
and
plate.
then drove around my vehicle, then drove around again?
Okay, you know what? I don't
Goes
need
to
to answer
Hardee's.
you.
You don't have to answer. I don't have to answer.
What's your
you.
name, sir?
He doesn't have to answer you, does he?
Why
Get it out of his eyes.
You're not wearing a seatbelt.
And neither am I. Neither am I.
I don't know that.
Oh well. Quit talking to him.
What's your name?
Whoa!
Boss. He does not need to tell you his name legally. You're not going to try to make somebody. He's a passenger.
Did I do anything
You are
wrong?
being. This is entrapment. Do you know that? You're going to get
not
in trouble.
entrapment.
Yes, it is.
If you think I'm gonna get in trouble,
It's
my-
How is this entrapment? You already broke the law. He literally pulled you over and you're not supposed to be driving. Maybe, I don't know, maybe about the talking to him thing. I don't think so, but like, you broke the law. He caught you breaking the law.
Sergeant, right here.
What is that called? Harassment.
Have you been drinking tonight?
No, breathalyze this.
Breathalyze
Get it.
this.
Get it.
How do
And
I
I'm
know
not
that?
on
Your eyes are
probation.
glossy.
Yeah, I smoke a lot of weed.
You been smoking tonight?
Nope.
When's the last time you smoked?
None of your business. You smell weed? Nope. Are you gonna find weed? Nope. Sorry, you wasted your time.
I don't actually. I think I do smell weed.
Oh my god, yeah, what are you, dumb? He can just say he smells weed, because that's like opinion based. What are you, stupid? Oh my god. Oh god. What's even worse is like she thinks she's flexing on him, like, yeah, I smoke hella weed. Did you smoke weed tonight? I don't need to tell you that. You gonna find any? Nope. You smell any? Nope. Now you're just like bragging. Oh, dude, come. It shouldn't work this way. It shouldn't work this way where like if you verbally challenge a cop and start like kind of like step into them a little, that they all of a sudden get more like, I'm gonna investigate the crap out of this person, or I really want to stick something to this person. And obviously she already broke the law anyway. But like the truth is, you're dealing with an individual. You shouldn't piss off that individual and give that individual any reason to feel vindictive against you, to feel like they want you to suffer or want you to be charged. You should just like, I don't know, dude. I would never in my life try and like, as much as I am not a huge fan of cops, obviously, but I don't think I'd ever like purposely be aggressive towards one, especially if they were already like interacting with me in a legal way, because I don't want them to all of a sudden make my life harder for no reason, which I believe and know they do to people regularly.
Weed.
You do? Search it. I told you. Get your dog.
I don't need a dog.
Do you got weed on you that you would put in my car?
Why would I have weed on
You
me?
seem like a dirty, lazy cop.
Oh.
Whoa.
that's
So when you
unfortunate.
dig
I
through
didn't
my
think
car and you're that don't find nothing.
Low-key, this cop's kind of handling this not horribly. Like, that's unfortunate that you think that. I feel like I don't know, I'm kind of surprised he's not angrier, but maybe he's just kind of realized this lady's angry enough for the both of us. I'm just gonna let her do it. She's very upset.
Be upset and then have to give me a ticket for suspended license and drive away.
I mean,
like
that
a
is
piece of
illegal,
crap.
though.
Why don't you,
He wasn't wearing a seatbelt and didn't want to ID himself either.
dude? This guy waited
But
at
the-
Quick Trip for me.
I don't know about that one though, because the vehicle wasn't moving when he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So unless you can like prove that he was wearing or wasn't wearing his seatbelt when the car was moving, then because like if they're not moving, does he need to have it on? I don't think so.
For no reason, I'm pumping gas and doing my makeup. Ready to actually go to a friend's house.
Why didn't you just let him drive? Does he have a license?
How much have you had to drink already?
Not breathalyze me. I'm not talking to you no more.
All right, I'll be right back.
I guess that's my biggest thought. Like, if he has a license, she should just let him drive. But whatever.
Passenger, and he's refusing to identify himself.
I walked up. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt. He's claiming he took it off, but I don't believe him.
Okay.
Neither one of them had him on.
I mean, you can't really prove
telling
that
me
though,
she's
can
gone.
you? Like, even if you don't believe him, what does it matter? Like, you didn't catch him do that. So like, now this is the parts where I get confused. Like, if you can't prove that he had the seatbelt off while he's driving, what's the point of giving him a ticket just in case? Because there's a decent chance then you're giving tons of innocent people tickets for crimes they didn't commit, and that's stupid and messed up. Shouldn't part of the due diligence be only holding people accountable for things you know, believe reasonably that they did, you know? Like, what?
Or she gave me her name, but she said didn't have a driver's license on her,
Okay.
so I could write her for that.
Yeah, check and
Plus,
see if you can
there
find
is-
the driver's license picture.
See, that's kind of the thing too. Like, I could write her for that. It seems like now, like, well, they're being kind of combative, so let's see what all can we pile up on them because these people. And that's where I start to feel like that's messed up. It shouldn't work that way, and it's for these reasons that I would never be incredibly assertive or combative or aggressive towards officers if they had pulled me over, because like I don't want them to start thinking like, Well, this person's an asshole. How can I ruin their day? Because I don't like the way they're talking to me.
Stopped her for, she's suspended.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you something, sir. Do you have a valid driver's license?
No.
No? So neither of you are leaving here then until
Oh.
I
you have a valid driver
know
also.
what? I can walk away. Can I?
You can't leave right now.
If I'm not being detained, yes, I can.
No, you are detained.
How?
You're getting
You have a
citation.
suspended driver's
going
license.
anywhere.
That's not being detained.
Yeah, you're not leaving.
Okay, well, when your is done giving me a ticket tag, I'm gonna...
Oh my god.
Alert, suspended driver's license. Female, white.
That was weird. I've never heard the robot read it out like that.
So,
He says he don't have one either, but he won't identify himself.
well, perfect. They can sit here until they get someone out here.
Operator
Permit.
failed to have passenger
Yep,
seatbelt. in.
yep, that's a citation.
She's getting a seatbelt and a
Yep.
suspension.
Okay.
How far do you want to push his
It's up to
identification?
you, too, if, for failure to carry her driver's license on her person.
I
It's up
kind
to
of
you.
feel like that's a double-edged sword because
Okay.
of this already being suspended. She doesn't really have a driver's license. Otherwise, I was going to write it.
I was going to say
Huh.
with him is, I mean, if he says he had it on, he took it unless you saw that he didn't.
Well,
Yeah.
I couldn't find them. They never took them off. They were, in my books, they were never wearing them. There's video.
Okay, I like that cop. I like that cop pointed that out about the seatbelts. If you didn't see them take them off, or if you didn't see them specifically moving without it wearing it, then you technically should write that ticket. But then this guy just does the whole like, well, you know, when I walked up, they weren't wearing them. Yeah, you parked behind them. There was time that passed, you know? I don't know. Like, they might even be thinking, oh, great, I'm probably going to get pulled out of this car, so I may as well take this off now. You know, like, there's so many reasons someone might have taken off their seatbelt. Or force a habit because the vehicle stopped and parked. I don't know. Yeah, so that seems kind of f***ed to me.
Video from my squad. You never see them remove seatbelts or anything like that. They were, in my book, they were not wearing them.
Okay, it's up to you. It's your stop, so if you feel that he truly wasn't wearing his seatbelt and you have a violation, then he's required to identify himself for his citation. If he refuses to identify himself...
Well, I didn't write him a citation. I was going to write it to her.
But
Instead of...
what I'm saying is he's obstructing an investigation. If he has got a citable offense that you intend on citing him for, then it's up to you if you want to push it that far. If he says he doesn't have a license, we can sit on him until
Okay,
we get
so
someone
then-
out here to pick them in the car up.
So then we're just going to have, I mean, I don't know, go as far as telling him we'll take him to jail to identify him and he can get booked in for obstructing?
If you wanted to go that route, that's your discretion. If you've got a citable offense, he's refusing to identify himself. He's by law is required to.
Is it even a citable offense if you can't prove he wasn't wearing the seatbelt while the car was moving, though? Because this just seems like they're unnecessarily trying to make a guy's day harder because he wasn't playing nice with them.
Identify himself?
Which,
This would be
boo-hoo.
a simple...
Simple $10 ticket or a criminal.
Well, that and just
God.
a suspension. I wouldn't have even cared or wrote him. Like, this is unnecessary.
Yeah, I wouldn't have cared at all, but now that he's being difficult, I all of a sudden care a lot and wouldn't mind throwing this guy in jail. I think that's the problem right there.
Yep.
Like, whether or not you get charged with something should not come down to, did you personally get along with the officer that you were interacting with? That's crap. Like, obviously, oh my God.
Okay, so are you willing to tell me who you are, what your name is, sir?
No, he doesn't have to. I'm telling him not to talk to you. Do not.
I'm not talking to you
Okay,
right
well,
now.
I don't want him
Stop
talking to you.
talking.
No.
Yeah,
You
no.
need to stop talking.
He's a grown man. He can talk to the officers if he wants to. That's so weird.
Step out of the
For
vehicle.
no reason.
Step out. Come here. I'm going to talk to you back here.
No. Sir, do I have to listen to him?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's a lawful order at this
To
point.
the front of that car, please.
I just want to know, dude, speaking person to person, like, why
I would
why
love
are
to
you
speak-
guys not, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cops here.
Look at how
Why
you're
is it-
reacting.
Because,
I'm not trying to
upset. This
mistreat
happens to me
you.
all
I'm
the
not,
time.
like, trying to make you feel
No,
bad.
listen to
And that's what sucks too. Like what she's saying is like, I have run-ins with you guys all the time. And so like there's a very real reason why she might feel extra apprehensive or extra aggressive or a little worried. Like, what if there have been, this is just an example, what if there have been circumstances in her past where she has been mistreated by police? Because we do know those things happen, and that would create a bias in a person and make them a little more apprehensive. So that's why her treatment of the officers and the way she engages with them should not matter on how much she gets charged or how hard they hit her with the book. That's crap. It should come down to whether or not the law was broken, because you don't know why a person might be scared of cops or hostile around cops. Maybe cops have been hostile around them. Maybe they were assaulted. Maybe someone they cared about was assaulted by police officers. So to just look at someone who's not stoked to be talking to officers, or not just constantly like, oh yes my lord, to an officer when he shows up, just because someone's not doing that, that is absolutely no reason to just label them as a criminal or bad. Like, there are plenty of very good reasons why a decent person would be a little less than pleasant to interact with law enforcement. I think a lot of us have a lot of fear right now when it comes to interacting with law enforcement, and like, wow, there's just so many ways this could spin out of hand. I hope to God that doesn't happen.
Please let me finish.
Sure.
There's so many drunk crackheads, meth heads, alcoholics, people with so much stuff that if you pulled them over, you would actually, I don't know, it would
save
feel
a
like
life.
you were doing good because they were drinking and driving.
No,
or they had drugs.
I totally get what she's saying here. Like, especially on New Year's night, like, you're pulling me over for a suspended license and I'm driving sober. I'm actually no threat to anyone's life right now. I did break a law, but like, it's like more of a civil thing than it is a criminal thing, where there are guaranteed on this night drunk people driving that are risking lives and on the road. So I get her argument, but no one person can be everywhere at once, and you are the person he ran into. So like, it's kind of one of those things. Like, you're not wrong, but that whataboutism doesn't change the circumstances that we're in now, or the fact that a law was broken and I was aware of it, so I kind of have to do my thing.
So they were doing something bad.
Okay.
But why pull
Well, you
somebody-
physically told me that you're smoking weed all the time.
Yeah, no, that was straight up stupid of her. Like, she straight up admitted to smoking weed, and like, he specifically said your eyes seem kind of glossy, and she was like, yeah, I smoke weed all the time. Your eyes are really only glossy if you're like actively on something. So like, that right there could have been looked at as an admission of her smoking weed that day. So I don't know, that's rough, bud.
Because you're being a saying my eyes are glassy, you smell weed. Actually, I do smell weed now. You know you don't. You don't smell weed, you don't smell alcohol. I haven't been drinking.
Okay, for
That's
one thing,
lying to me.
it would be lying if I was lying. I'm not lying to you.
It's always sad to see self-incrimination, and this is what sucks, because now it's he said, she said. He's saying it would be lying if I'm lying, but I'm not lying to you. We have no way of knowing that. Obviously, because A, we're not there. We can't smell the car. But B, we have no way of knowing what he smelled. And obviously, everyone's more likely to smell weed after someone says, yeah, I smoke weed all the time. It could be a placebo effect. It could be psychological. You could be getting a whiff of gasoline or a skunk that happens to be nearby. And obviously, because of the information that you've just been presented, the first thing your brain's going to think is, oh, that's definitely marijuana. So like, that one's so complicated. The whole, I smell weed, so I can search you. What is smelling weed? Who is to define when a person smells? Like, no one has internal marijuana receptors to where, like, you could test them and be like, yes, this person 100% has smelled the sense of marijuana within, like, the last 3 hours. And if you look at their brain activity, you can see, like, there's no way to do that. So it's literally just, yes, the officer said I smelled drugs, so I searched. No officer is going to hear that and be like, okay. Hey, welcome to the life of being off work, DJ. Hope your work shift wasn't too bad.
Don't raise your voice at me, dude. I have daddy issues, and I don't like men. I don't trust them.
Listen.
I have PTSD. Do not talk to me like that.
Okay, that's
Do
fair.
not.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. If she has PTSD, and it could, and that also, this is again why I was saying the way you interact with law enforcement should not change the way they interact with you. Unless, of course, it gets to the point where, like, you're being physically aggressive. But, like, the way you talk to them really shouldn't matter. She just gave a great reason on why she probably is pretty hostile towards authoritative male figures. I have father issues. I have PTSD from my relationship with men and my, father figure, more than likely. Yes, that person is going to be reacting in a fear way. And fear often manifests itself in anger or sadness. Or fear is often the manifestation of, anger is often the manifestation of fear or sadness. Clearly for her, it's fear. So, she's very scared, so she's acting mad, like anyone would, to try and keep the danger away. Like, leave me alone. Please leave me alone. And I bet that context does nothing for her, even though she's offered, like, some very insightful information. I bet they still end up, like, why is she so hostile? Why are you being so hostile? Well, I don't know. She gave a damn good reason.
I'm not lying. Everything I say that we're talking about is recorded.
You know how scary this is when you see like this happen?
100%.
None of this would even have gone this far or be to where it is right now.
Get held down by you guys and get choked out.
If you could at least have the slightest bit of respect.
Brad, I want to walk away from you because I don't owe you shit.
Listen,
but you know what you
walk
would
to
do?
the front of my car.
You know what you would do?
Just walk to the front.
She said she was a brat, I think. This is all very interesting. I really do. God, yeah, this is why watching stuff like this is so hard sometimes, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know whose side to be on or who's more in the right. The whole thing is just such a mess, dude.
Front of that car.
You would physically hurt me. You would hold me
I'm not
down.
going to.
But if I tried
I'm not even going to touch you.
You would. You'd shoot my.
Just have a seat right there.
Okay, you don't know that he would shoot you, but there is a statistical likelihood way higher than it should be that you would get shot for just running away. And like, also to her point, like, if I ran away right now, you would tackle me. I mean, yeah, probably you'd be running away from criminal proceedings. So like resisting arrest, literally. That's kind of her job. To be fair, a well-trained officer will tase before opening fire. Absolutely, a well-trained officer will tase before opening fire. But like, and what she was saying is like, yeah, you tackle me if I ran away. He'd kind of have to. He wasn't done doing his job with you yet, and you would be creating a situation where he is aware of someone who committed a crime, has visual on that person committing a crime, ran away from an officer trying to hold them accountable for committing that crime. I feel like he has every obligation to make sure you're held accountable for that crime at that point. So like, yeah, he'd probably tackle you. And that would suck, which is why they would probably recommend you don't run. The fact that the academy is optional for a law enforcement job is unacceptable. I did not know the academy is optional. What? What? Is the law enforcement... While police academy training is required for police officers, it is not required for all criminal justice jobs. If you are considering or already working towards criminal justice degree, okay. Like, I think in certain major cities in CA, it's only good for, like, promotions or important roles. That's crazy. I need to read into that more later.
There, relax.
That sounds insane to me.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're not identifying yourself. I pulled up behind you. I have a camera.
Yeah, like, yeah, you're talking about, you're not talking about like just a job that happens to be legally oriented. You're talking about like, and to your knowledge, in some places there are police officers who may or may not have had to go through the academy, which that alone is already a problem. Like I would assume and I would hope that if you are an officer and you are wearing an officer's uniform, that guarantees you spend time in a police academy. That's what I thought. But you're saying, to your understanding, that is not always the case, at least in some major cities, possibly in California. Which, if that's cool, if that's like the case, that's broken. That's fundamentally broken.
Observe either one of you removing a seatbelt. Therefore, you weren't wearing one. It's a violation. If you're not,
that's bullshit. I didn't observe either one of you wearing a seatbelt. Therefore, you weren't wearing one. You can't say that. Those things do not, that does not equal that.
Tell me who you are, give me your identification that's obstructing, and then we're going to handle it differently. What are you trying to do?
And a psychology course should be, yeah, absolutely, mandatory for all officers because it's essential for conflict de-escalation. Absolutely. And it can even help with, like, because in our current system, police are still called more often than not to deal with mental health crises, or to deal with, you know, sometimes the active danger in a situation is someone who is suffering from a mental health crisis. So having officers that are trained in psychology would be incredibly beneficial. Obviously, we don't have like the funding in our current system, or like, well, we probably have the funding in the current police system to actually do that, but we don't have like the infrastructure in place to actually do that. But like, it could be incredibly beneficial if they could understand a little more about how to talk to people in certain states. Some officers probably happen to have that training for whatever reason, or happen to have those good instincts for whatever reason. But that we're relying on luck there, and that's crazy. Ideally, we would not be relying on luck. We would be informing these officers, these are the type of things you're going to run into. This is the best way to handle it, so you are safe, so they are safe, so everyone is safe. That's what the priority should be. In the eyes of the law, perception is reality, so the seatbelt thing would hold in court. That sucks. That is the dumbest I've ever heard.
Just tell me who you
That is literally philosophy. Like, perception is reality. Like, I say that all the time, but that's like a philosophical sort of thing. Like, if you understand it to be true and make it to be true in your own mind, it will hold true to you. And that's true to an extent.
What have I done wrong? Because I saw you driving around. Yeah, I saw you at Quick Trip. I ran her plate. I saw that she was suspended as a registered owner of the vehicle. I can legally do that. I can sit at a gas pump and run every license plate around me. I can legally do that.
Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to do that. I never had a problem with officers running license plates. It makes me uncomfortable when I can tell one's doing it behind me. But isn't that just kind of part of the patrol thing? You know? Just like making sure everyone that's driving on the road legally is allowed to be driving on the road. I don't know. Like, it does seem a little weird, I guess, if you think about it. The idea of them kind of poking into everyone's lives a little, but that always made sense to me. The idea of like, hey, license plate, I'll check them out. I do think it's weird that they're able to do it while driving in the states that you can't have your phone out. That's a little odd to me, and maybe they don't do that anymore. Maybe they aren't allowed to do that anymore, but there was definitely a point in time where like no one was allowed to text and drive, but officers still had laptops they were using in their front seats. It mainly shows registration and validity and any active warrants. Exactly. It's not like anything huge. And to me, it kind of makes sense as part of the patrol part. I feel like that is the patrolling. And it's not like they're actually pulling that person over unless there's a reason to. They're not actually stopping that person's day. They're not even interacting with that person. Unless they have a reason to. But I guess I could understand how it's a little weird that the idea that like they're just allowed to do that, but I don't know, that doesn't seem that weird to me.
Irving.
Maybe I'm just too used to it.
Call it in right now so I can tell you how it is.
6-2 comp. Could you look up Irvin Zaragoza in-house?
Just got that bonus. Yeah, what's the harassment?
I feel so bad for this guy. I don't know. He seems like he is more or less pretty chill, and he just got he was just in the wrong car on the wrong night.
If she wouldn't have like started yelling at me and like all this would have, this would have never gotten to this point.
I hear that and I understand that, but at the same time, once a reason was provided, once there was context to behavior, I would have chilled out. Like, I'd have been like, oh, okay, well now I kind of understand why you may have been so apprehensive and anxious about this interaction. Like, I feel like she offered information that contexted her behavior pretty well. Personally, obviously, I'm someone who literally suffers from CPTSD, so I can understand how if you find yourself in a moment that feels a little triggering, it can set off a whole chain reaction in your nervous system that, you know, the cart can get pulled before the horse very easily, and all of a sudden your body's reaction is dictating your emotions. Because your breath got out of control first, then you were tensing up first, and you're basically telling your body, this is fight or flight, this is fight or flight, this is fight or flight. And before you know it, you're actively in fight or flight just because of your anxiety leading up to the situation. So it's a very real possibility that by the time this officer approached her window, her nervous system is fully activated. She is in fight or flight, and anyone in fight or flight mode is going to be high energy, maybe a little aggressive, you know, like that's like psychology, physiology 101. So I feel like once that was offered, that should have entered his brain as like an explanation as to why the situation seems to be going a little rockier than it ideally would have.
All the time, this is happening. Like we're not doing anything wrong. Literally at the quick trip, standing there, and like. So I drive around, and I like that's my job is to observe traffic, and I run license plates. Did I put the wrong gas in the car? No, I literally look for people with suspended driver's licenses.
Yeah.
I look for people that are revoked. And so now you're out in force. Why? No, this is my normal shift. There's quite a few guys up. Right now, yeah, you got us a shift change, so there's a lot of us. Cause there's guys coming off and on. Half hour ago, there was like 3 of us. That's it. Trying to mess with.
Whoa, that's interesting. I used to have the understanding that during shift change was the lowest patrol time on the of most cities, because what happens is most officers who are ending their duty go in to do paperwork from their shift because they probably have a ton of paperwork to do, and then the new cops are coming into the station preparing, getting their stuff ready to go out. So I always understood that like shift overlap time was like one of the least heavy patrol times in terms of cities, but maybe they changed that because of the oversight that is. Maybe it's different on New Year's. They might have bulked up on New Year's night just because it's a safe bet that you're gonna need more officers than usual, though, because they do the same thing with like Halloween and other big party nights, so I could see that. But it is a little weird that they brought like 5 cop cars out here. I can understand the idea of bringing like maybe 1 because she seemed a little hostile and you don't know if things are going to get weird or if there's a weapon involved somewhere. You don't know. You can't know. And I can understand approaching that with some level of precaution as well as a little bit of fear, a healthy dose of fear to like keep you, you know, prepared properly for a situation. And unfortunately, officers have probably learned to do that from like being exposed to stuff like that more so than the rest of us are. But I do feel like 5 squad cars is a little much, and I do feel like there was some context offered to the behavior here that should have ideally calmed everyone down a little and like made things a little more clear.
When you could be actually doing something good. Okay. How much weed is in the car? There's no weed here. I can smell it. Okay. If you can smell it, then you need to get your nose checked.
No. Irving, quit talking to him. We already got your name. You need to stop asking me questions about my
Jared,
phone.
you want to walk up here?
You might as well just get it done and over with. You want to get in here and check it? Go ahead.
So I looked at past contacts too with the car. And
why are you doing that? Why are you giving him permission to check a vehicle that's not yours, dude? Come on. I get it, especially if you're innocent. Like, I have nothing to hide, so like check my stuff so I can go. But that's crap. They shouldn't have to go through all your stuff just to make sure you didn't commit a crime. You know, like, I don't know. I'm a firm believer in, like, you know, not having your First Amendment rights or civil rights violated. So, like, no, you don't just need to search my car just because you smell weed. Sorry.
It says that there's been marijuana in this
I mean,
car.
obviously,
So you get
they can, yeah, and obviously her saying that she smokes weed and that there's been marijuana in the car does make things more complicated. And unfortunately, if an officer does smell weed, that is probable cause, I think, in a lot of places to search the car. But I don't think it should be. That seems weird to me because anyone can lie about what they smelled, man. And everyone's going to take the cop's word, obviously. How is that not inherently corrupt?
You tell me that I don't smell it when it's been in here? I don't care to search the whole vehicle, honestly. I don't want to look in the dang vehicle.
Cool, I guess.
What are you trying to get at?
I'm just being honest. I'm talking to you man to man.
I've already told you, like, there's nothing here. What do you want?
Nothing. I don't want
If
anything.
you're trying to get in here, get in here.
Okay, can you step out?
Can you run it? Can you be quick?
Yeah, no, you're not going anywhere. You guys might as well start calling for a ride.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna have you step forward and hang out with that officer.
I want to look inside the car.
Yes, go ahead. I have to give you permission, not him.
No, you don't. I don't need permission. Because the more I talk to him, have my head in the car, I can definitely smell marijuana.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, so if he smells marijuana, I believe that does register as probable cause. So at that point, permission isn't needed by the vehicle owner. But God, that's just such crap.
How do you know what marijuana smells like? Get that marijuana back. Please don't put any drugs in my car from your guys' sleeves. I've seen it on YouTube videos.
Do you have your phone with you?
I get that she's like not in her best place right now, but that was dumb. Like, how do you know what marijuana smells like? I'm a cop? We notoriously arrested a lot of people with marijuana for a long time and still probably do in some places, even though we shouldn't. And then we put them in prison for way longer than they ever should be. We're familiar with the smell of marijuana for surezies. Like, it's like one of our favorite things to arrest people for. So like, yeah, def know what that smells like.
Urban, do you want to try to call somebody? Because you guys aren't driving out of here.
Guess what? My uncle lives 2 houses up. I'm pushing my car in his driveway.
I'm going to hand you your phone so you can work on a ride.
Can you not just have your uncle drive the car?
Need a ride, I'm going to push my car.
Okay, well, we're going to go knock on that door. I'm going to verify that's your uncle, and he says it's okay. You can put your car there.
Yeah, right, go ahead. Why don't you check the address?
Why do you have a hatchet in your door?
I can have whatever the I want in my door. I can have a gun in my door.
Self-defense.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Probably a shotgun, right?
Nope.
I'm like, I guess, I don't know why he even like, she told you she has PTSD and has issues with men. That's not that weird to me that she has a hatchet. I get that it's weird to find a hatchet in someone's car, but like, I would immediately think, yeah, it's probably self-defense. Like, yeah, like that would be my immediate thought.
Oh, thought you didn't have an ID.
Yourself.
That
Well,
sounds
did
like
he find an
obstructing.
ID?
You can say, I hear all kinds of things. I just don't want to talk to you because I don't want you to keep yelling at me. I don't work for the city.
Wait.
Nicole was released
Didn't work
and
for the
cited
city.
for failure to wear a seatbelt, operating while suspended, and failure to have a passenger wear a seatbelt.
I didn't even realize the driver could be charged
But
with
he
that
said he
ticket.
saw that I have a suspended license when I don't have a front plate.
Keep it up. And I'm going to write you for obstructing for not
Please
giving me
do.
your ID.
Please do. I don't need to hear it. Not from you, and not from nobody.
Here's a citation for operating while suspended. There's a court date and time up here at the top. You do not have to appear.
Damn, some places can get that? Okay, because like the one time I've ever had someone get a seatbelt ticket in my car, it was my sister. She was the passenger. The cops in my city were doing like this whole thing with our high school where like they were going to hang out around our high school to specifically watch for seatbelts. And I was dropping her off one morning because I had free period. So I just went in to take her in real quick. She wasn't wearing her seatbelt. I didn't notice it. The cop pulled us over and gave her the ticket. And then my parents made me pay it, which was fair. I kind of understood their argument. One, she didn't have a job. I did. Two, I was driving. Technically, I should have made sure that she like was wearing the seatbelt before I even started the car, especially because my parents always said that specifically growing up. Like, you shouldn't even start your car until everyone has the belt on. That's just the way it should be. You should make them wait. So like it had been a previous conversation and the ticket was pretty expensive. So like they didn't want to pay it. It happened under my watch in my car. So like I didn't even fight him on that. I was like, yeah, I'll pay it. That makes sense. Damn. But like she got the ticket. I paid for it, but it was in her name. Oh.
It would be a deposit of $200.50.
Oh, boy.
Others, it's the
There's also a
passengers who get
citation
it.
for you not wearing a seatbelt.
Huh.
Same court
Look,
date.
I told you he's gonna write a ticket for everything because he's gonna feel asked for that he didn't find nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's crap. Like if I feel like there are cases sometimes where it's like I'm going to write as many tickets as I can just because I don't like the way you talk to me, and that I fundamentally have a problem with that.
Also, I'm giving you a citation for not having your passenger failing to wear his seatbelt.
Oh wow, she is weird.
They spread them. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Yeah, you better figure out a way to get your car somewhere because you're not driving it.
I'm gonna push it to where it needs to go. Good
Okay.
boy. You feel good?
Nope, we'll be here.
Fighting crime. I know you will, because you don't want to do paperwork. You don't want to do your real job and go fight crime, right? You're a pig that don't know.
I love that. You don't want to go fight crime. You did technically commit a crime. This is fighting crime. It's not an important crime. It's not like a crazy crime. It's not violent crime. But like you broke the law. So I'm just saying. You got caught. Like.
Okay, so make sure she doesn't drive out of here. She's gonna just drive out of here the second we leave. So
Then what do you?
it's up to you if you wanna
I've never had cops watch
sit out here
push
and
my vehicle.
if she wants to push it a couple of blocks, we can follow her and watch her push her vehicle for 2 blocks, I guess.
Call that tow truck. When that tow truck comes, you gotta pay for that, right?
We can't allow her to leave though
The
without a
city does. Your
license.
boss
So
is gonna be pissed, and I'm gonna push my car.
I totally agree.
What is happening?
if it is going a couple of blocks up to her.
Honestly, it's not a I'm gonna give you as many as I can. A lot of times it's I'm gonna give you what you deserve for being a d. I did that when I had extra duty as an MP. And see, but what's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference there? I don't understand the difference there. It's you're specifically punishing someone because socially it didn't go as smoothly as it could have. And I get that like assholes should be held accountable, but I think it's weird to have this concept of if you were anyone else, I wouldn't have cared and I would have let this go. But because you're you, I'm not going to. Without the reasoning being a history of the specific crime and like this being a demonstration of a pattern and lack of trust in the person is like established, to me it just seems like a power trip. Just like you made my day harder, so now I'm going to make your day harder. If it's a routine traffic stop and like you didn't do anything wrong, there's no reason to be a to a cop. I agree, but if you have PTSD and an issue with male authority figures, it could be understandable on why you would be a little more combative, you know? Like maybe her reaction, maybe her nervous system's got the best of her right now and she normally isn't so aggressive to people, normally is so polite, but it's really late at night, it's a holiday, and now all of a sudden she's like scared, and so she's like a little more jumpy and aggressive than ideally she would be. But like she didn't assault anyone, she didn't run away from anyone, she didn't like threaten to hurt anyone, she was just kind of annoying, you know?
Her uncle's house, make sure you verify that that person is your uncle and that it's allowed to stay there.
Head over to codebluecam.com and check out our
Yeah, I don't know. I never know how to feel like about stuff like this. Like it's just situations like this where I feel like I don't think anyone was the like good character here. I think both sides brought some decent flaws to the table, and those ended up mixing together to create quite the cluster of a situation that just sucks for everyone involved, really. Yeah. So I don't even know if I would call that the most painful traffic stop ever. I feel like I've watched plenty worse. What a bait title. Both sides are assholes and no one winds up happy. Yeah, pretty much. And that sucks. It's just like, cool. Another shit situation. But I mean, that probably happens more often than not when it comes to stuff like this. No one's ever happy to be pulled over. No one's ever happy to be interacting with police officers more often than not. You know what I mean? And I do feel for that. Like on some level, I can understand and hear that like can't be super easy to be a cop in that regard. The fact that like there's a good chance, even if you have all the best intentions personally of being a decent person and doing the right thing and making sure no one's rights are violated, that person, as soon as you step out of your vehicle, is pissed off that you're there and is treating you like crap. And understandably so from their end too, because it is a broken system that does horrible things and perpetuates a lot of really awful things in our power structured society, like the protection of white lives and property over any sort of minority lives or property, 100%. The miscategorization and prejudice that is obviously in our police system. Like there are plenty of reasons for that person to be apprehensive, but it's not right for any person to blame one cop for the entire broken system, because that's not really fair. However, it is just a system made up of a bunch of individuals that are looking the other way. So I can understand the association. That's why with these situations, I never know where to land. Like, it's like, what do you make of that? Like, other than just like something needs to change. Like this system needs to change. There is not like, these interactions could go way better if there was more trust in law enforcement, and if we knew that law enforcement wasn't out there violating people's civil rights, if that wasn't happening so regularly, if people weren't being literally executed by police in situations where there is no reason for a person to even die, if those sorts of things were happening all the time, it would be a lot easier to be like, yeah, this person's just being an asshole. I don't know. It's so complicated. It doesn't stop me from watching these videos and having a lot of opinions, though.
Thanks for watching, guys. Follow me on Twitch to join us live, like and subscribe, and I will catch you later.